What's the matter? Did you know her?
Alice. She was almost like a sister to me. We served together for years, in the same house. Why'd you ask? Who are you?
I'm trying to find out who did this to her. I'm afraid the killer might want to go after my friend as well.
Ah, I understand.
Who did you serve?
Our master is a local merchant. He is trying his hand at trading wine.
How did Alice get along with your master?
Fine. Our master is a bit strict.
What's his name?
Why? But you can't see him anyway.
It occurred to me that maybe he could have done it.
He couldn't. He was gone when it happened. He had... And besides, why would he kill them others too? He never even knew them.
What others?
You haven't heard. A few girls, like our Alice, died before. All really pretty girls.
Do you know of any suitors she...
I know she was seeing someone. Why?
I'd like to talk to him as well.
But I don't know who it was. Alice said he was rich and dressed nicely.
And you never saw him?
No, never.
Do you know what exactly happened?
No. One day, she just didn't come home. And then, I found her. Like this.
What do you mean, like this?
You haven't seen her yet, have you?
I haven't.
Then don't. It's a horrible thing to see. She was such a pretty girl. She had such beautiful brown hair. And it didn't even leave that untouched.
What do you mean?
Who could have cut off her hair like that? And why? None of it makes sense.
So, I'll leave you to mourn in peace now. So, my God, someone really did a number on her. Oh, they ripped open her entire belly. And they didn't stop there. There must have been buckets of blood. Jesus Christ. The place they found her must look like a slaughterhouse. I should go there and take a look. Her lips are bloody, but nothing more. But if he killed her for blabbing, I reckon he'd have cut out her tongue or something, wouldn't he? These are more like chops than cuts. Somebody must have taken a sword to her. Knife wounds would be smaller, and an axe would have made a bigger mess. But it couldn't have been a long sword. That would have been clumsy. It was something shorter and nimbler. God, that madman cut off both her breasts and bits of flesh. But what did he do with it all afterwards? Did he really keep all the pieces? Nobody could be that sick, could they? Her face is a little bruised and cut, but nobody cut her there. But she has a dark ring around her neck. Was she strangled? The murderer must have had pretty strong hands, and her hair is all matted with blood and hacked off. I don't even know what colour it was. Maybe there's something more to it. What if... just some scratches and bruises? The killer probably surprised her. She didn't even... So, the murderer must have awfully strong hands, because he strangled her and left a dark ring around her neck. Then he took a short sword or saber and started hacking at her. She's missing parts of her torso, but they aren't by the body. He also cut off most of her hair. He cut off her breasts, but left her tongue, then left her lying there for all to see. To send a message, maybe? Or a warning? Only if it was a warning for telltales, he would have cut out her tongue or something, wouldn't he? I don't know why he killed her, but I don't think it's because of Catherine.
Good day to you.
You must be the local gravedigger.
That's right. They call me František. At least them that can speak do. Ha!
I'm Henry.
Greetings, Henry.
That dead girl you have in the...
You've seen her? Both.
That's what I'm trying to find out.
She's gone to meet her maker. What, you want to take away a piece of her? Well, you can't. Not a hair off her head.
I don't want to take anything.
Like what exactly?
Who killed her?
Why?
Someone killed the poor girl. You can't just let the murderer get away with it, can you?
Well, what do you plan on doing about it?
Find out who did it and bring him to justice.
Well, if that's the way it is, and you really want to help them lasses, it's true that Lumiere ain't shown no interest in her yet. I wouldn't expect that from him no more.
Who's this Lumiere? Another one of those gawkers and collectors?
No, no. He actually tried to help.
Help? How?
Well, he was investigating them others.
Right. You said she wasn't the first.
Aye. We had a couple of similar cases. Lumiere said they was all killed by the same murderer.
And how did he come to that conclusion?
How do I know? Best ask Lumiere yourself.
Do you remember how many...
You mean you don't know nothing about it? Here even...
I haven't been in Kuttenberg.
I see. There's been one every few...
Do you know where the last one...
I heard some talk about it when they brought her here.
Look for clues.
That can help you.
That's worth a try.
I heard she was killed by the town walls, close to the hole in the wall.
Thanks. What's this Lumiere got to do with this?
Well, like I told you, he used to work for the bailiff. I think he was...
A scribe keeps records in the Black Chronicle. Though I've never heard of one doing his own investigation.
Well, the old bailiff wasn't all that in... But Lumiere, he was quite helpful. Folk heard about it and went to him with whatever was troubling them.
I'd like to speak with Lumiere. Do you know...
At his home in Bohemia Street, that's near the church. You won't find him at the bailiff's no more. I don't know exactly why, though. Seems he had some...
Thanks.
It's my pleasure, especially helping someone from the land of the living again. Actually, wait a mo. Speaking of the living, there's a girl what comes here and grieves over that dead maid. I think her name is Barbara.
I know. I've already spoken to her.
Aha. Good then. Lots of luck to you. Farewell.
We're on.
Careful. It isn't safe around here.
Lumiere?
Oh, Christ.
I need to ask...
I said not so loud.
That's some hangover. Unless I'm willing to wait for him to sleep it off. I'll have to get... This should sober him. Here. Drink up. Better?
What? Who?
My name is Henry.
And what do you want from...
I'm trying to find out who killed a certain girl.
To me?
Are you Lumiere from the Rat...
I used to be. Now I'm just...
They say that about you.
Because I was just on some wild... And what came of it?
But I need your...
If I were you, lad, I'd leave it be. You'll just end up hurting your...
Come now,
Poor girls. Nobody was all that interested in it, except we let it be in the end. We let a No way. You can't solve this.
I'm not doing it for myself. I'm afraid he might kill one of my friends.
A friend, eh? I searched high and low. What makes you think you can find...
Because I'm stubborn, and I don't have any other choice. I'll get to the truth, no matter what.
You think that will suffice?
If not, I'd have been dead long ago. Bled out from a human arrow.
All right. Talk to me. Who was this dead girl?
Her name was Alice. She worked as a maid.
A maid? That fits. Yarka was a maid, too. As were most of...
I think that he strangled her first, and then went out...
Did you notice the strangulation right away? It took me a while. Maybe you really will track him down.
Do you think it's the same murder?
Counting your girl, that makes 6 victims who were first strangled and then mutilated. If it's not all the same person, they must be collaborating somehow.
This is the 6th one. How long has he been killing?
Probably about a year now. Sometimes it takes him months, sometimes weeks. But I'm including missing girls. Stanya and Zdena.
Why are you counting the missing girls?
Because I think someone killed them, and we just haven't found them yet.
Did the dead girls have anything in common?
Aside from being pretty young girls with no proper family or background, no. I couldn't find much.
Do you think somebody is killing them because they're poor, and nobody will miss them?
Certainly. If somebody killed the daughter of a local lord, no stone would be left unturned.
But why does he even kill in the first...
I don't know. Maybe he hates women. Damn it.
What can you tell me about Yarka?
She wasn't the first. But thanks to her, people started taking an interest. She was a maid in a German family. By all accounts, she was a pious, polite girl. She was orphaned as a child. A priest from the Church of St. Peter and Paul, Father Prokop. They found her body tossed behind a barn at the edge of town. She was cut all the way from her neck downwards.
Did you have any suspects?
At first, I thought the son from that family did it. A murderer, but then I changed my mind.
Why?
Well, for one, I remembered the 2 girls before her who ended up almost the same. Besides that, when I talked to the lad, he seemed he wasn't the least bit interested in Yarka. Then his mother told me that they threw her out a week before the murder because she was a harlot who stayed out till all hours of the night. That really surprised me, because Father Prokop had vouched for her good reputation. Maybe he just didn't want to admit what had...
What about Stanya?
She was an alehouse wench in a tavern of ill repute called the Hole in the Wall.
You said her body was never found. Maybe she just got out of town.
You have no idea how much I'd like to believe that. Only there was a lot of blood. Unfortunately, the investigation wasn't very successful. The Hole is a world of its own, and the people there aren't very forthcoming with information.
Did you suspect anybody?
You could suspect every second man there. Those people have nothing but thievery and deceit in their eyes. The innkeeper, Mole, definitely knew Stanya, since she worked for him. But he isn't all that chatty either.
So if I want to learn anything more, I have to ask this Mole? In the hole?
Yeah, he still runs the place.
And what about that Zdena? You said her body was never found.
Exactly. But to tell the truth, nobody spent much time looking for it. Besides Alice, Zdena was the most recent victim. It's only been a few weeks since she went missing, but I suppose nobody wanted to do any more digging.
But if her body was never found, how do you know she was killed?
Because she was the same type as the other girls. Maybe the prettiest of them all. Young, beautiful. A real live one. I never could pin it on it.
Maybe she robbed the wrong people and had...
Maybe. She had a partner in crime by the name of Strunad. When I asked him about Zdena, he told me he'd rather rip his own tongue.
Do you think he'd be more forthcoming with me?
He might be. Besides, it might still be fresh.
And what about the other two victims?
It all started with them, though nobody did much about it at the time. The first one worked as a bathhouse maid. They called her Chestnut. She'd only been in town for a short while, and nobody really knew her. So I couldn't find out anything more. But the other one, Libushka, she was from Loretz. She was a maidservant, too. I also talked to her mother. She said she was really cheerful and outgoing. There were lots of suitors circling around her, but she refused them all. She knew she was pretty, and knew she could do better than some farmhand.
You mean she wanted someone higher up?
That's what it sounded like. But her mother never found out who she had her eye on.
Interesting. I'll try to see what else I can find out from the mother. Where can I find her?
In the graveyard, lad. The poor woman died of grief. It's sad to say, but we can't help those two dead girls now. And they can't help us with our investigation either. There's nobody else left who could tell us anything about them.
Why were you looking into it?
I don't know what people told you about me, but for many long... Gutenberg is a big city with a lot of people. Silver, the bailiff was always running from hell to Hades, from one rich man to another.
But there are more than just rich burghers and lords.
Exactly. There are common folk, too. There's a lot more of them. So when one of them came to the bailiff's one time, and the bailiff was running around somewhere, I started to deal with it myself.
Behind the bailiff's back?
Not really. Andreas supported my activities until... recently.
What happened?
I don't want to talk about it.
Did you have any
You can always find some. I always dragged the most suspicious ones to the body in the morgue by force. And...
Couldn't it have just been an act?
Fainting? Vomiting? That's hard.
Can you sum it all up for me?
We have 6 victims here. And I believe they were all murdered by the same killer. Unfortunately, we only know a little about the last 4. The most recent ones. By now, we won't learn anything about the first 2. Of the remaining 4, the first to be killed was the maidservant, Yarka. She was raised by Father Prokop from the Church of St. Peter and Paul. He should know the most about. The next were Stanya and Zdena. Their bodies weren't found, but we assume they also became victims. They both hung around a tavern they called the Hole in the Wall. Stanya, and the last victim is Alice now. What they all have in common is that they were young.
Good.
When you learn something more, stop by and see me. You've aroused a bit of hope in me, lad.
I'm devilled by erosion. Look at me. I used to spend...
So I don't drown in all this shit. Last time it rained for a week straight, we were up to our knees in a river of shit. That's good.
You shouldn't be walking around like that. Careful.
say to you?
Father, I need to ask you a few questions.
I don't have time for theological discussions, my son.
That's not why I'm here. My name's Henry, and I wanted to ask about the murder that happened recently. Someone killed and gutted a young maidservant and left her body lying by the city walls. And I hear it's not the first time this has happened.
Another one murdered. May the Lord... Why is it...
I fear for my sister.
Yes. Fear for those close to you is commendable.
One of the other victims was a girl named Yarka. But I reckon... What can you tell me about her?
About Yarka? She was an ordinary...
Where did you know Yarka?
I knew her since she was a little girl.
And?
I was her uncle. When my brother and his...
Who do you think...
William, that pig of Satan. He gambles in the tavern on All Saints' Day and leads the locals astray. Yarka always went there to listen to music.
Why do you think it was William?
Evidence? He's a skirt chaser, a tool of Satan. He messes with poor girls' heads.
And does anyone else come to mind?
No.
You raised her? A priest with a child?
Yes. Unfortunately, I'm not the first of the clergy to have...
No offense, but how did you know what to do? Without a wife, without a family? I would have been lost.
I was a bit, When she was smaller, it was fine, but when she grew up a bit, maybe I was too hard on her.
How does that even work?
When she was small, I could.
Why do you think you were too...
Yarko was an orphan. Her only chance of a good life, but the more I led her in that direction.
How did she...
She wouldn't listen. She ran away. She ran...
Disgrace?
She was pregnant! Even if she had lived, what then? Nobody would want to marry her anymore.
You're well off, though. Couldn't you...
I couldn't. Even if she had been my very own.
But how come?
The church's property always remained.
Why don't you respect Lumi?
That's my business. I won't tell you.
But this is important. Do I look like someone who's asking out of curiosity?
All right. Lumir accused me of her murder.
What?
Yes. He slandered me.
And...
It turned out he was deranged. How could he even think such a... He's finished in Kuttenberg.
I've heard enough, Father.
Son, I'll give you some good advice. The angel of the Lord declared unto... Mary...
What is it you need?
It happens.
Just watch where you're going next time.
I'm not going anywhere. Eat shit! You're just pissing people off with your bullshit.
You think I'm scared of you, fucker?
Enough, damn it!
Now you're gonna get it! Ha!
Oh, it's just you.
Ha! Ha!
Hey!
Why did you do that? And you'll get another
Hey,
right away!
sorry.
Fighting.
Shame on you!
No, you...
Take that, you shit!
What are you doing?
This is unbelievable.
Hey! We'll finish this quickly.
Hug me with it! Good! Don't fuck with me next time.
Fucking bastard!
Hey! What's wrong?
Hang him!
Keep close to the others. It's not safe.
G'day, g'day. Good afternoon.
Did it stand you?
Stanya. It depends.
My name's Henry.
Names. What kind of guest?
I'm a good guest.
Really? Let's see. Do you know how to...
By the fact he spends a...
Aye. I like talking. So, what'll it...
What if I simply paid you, and you tell me what I want to know?
Ask away.
I want to know if Stanya...
She did. And she don't know more. What's it to you?
I heard she disappeared without a trace. So I'm trying to find out if anyone has...
It's possible. The chamber she was sleeping in, the door open. Everything emptied out. And Stanya was gone.
Tell me something...
First, you'll have another beer.
What?
If you want to ask, you have to drink.
You're quite the extor...
I prefer to be called an enterprising... So, what...
I don't want to pay you any more. I think you could answer my questions directly and not always try to wheedle money out of me. That makes it look like you might have some motive for keeping me from finding out anything about that murder.
Nonsense. How could you think that? Come on. Ask me anything you want.
Did anybody see what actually...
No, it was at night. Nobody... The tavern tends to be empty at that hour. And you won't meet many people on the street.
What was that?
A bold woman. One has to be here. Everyone's ballsy here unless you nib it in the bud right away. She was hanging around a bard for a while. I don't know how close they were, but...
Someone from the city?
No. A charcoal burner. I think his name was... Barton?
What do you know about that bard?
What about him? He's a minstrel, a skirt chaser. What more can I say? He called himself William. As far as I know, he plays in the Miners' Tavern in the evenings. But sometimes he shows up here, too.
You think he might have been the one who...
Now that you mention it, he cleared out of town for a while. I know he met with some odd people and talked about God knows what. Besides, you know what minstrels are like. Lasses just flock to them. And like they say...
Or in this case... Apart from those men, I mean, more intimately.
Well, I got bad news for you. She had two close friends, but you won't get much...
Why?
One was hit by a cart, even before Stanya disappeared. And she died. And the other one got married and moved away.
How did
The door was wide open. Most of her things were gone, but some remained.
Blood?
Not so much, really. More like if someone done her in, they definitely didn't do it in that chamber.
Where can I find...
I already told you. In the Verchlitz Valley.
Could you...
I don't know that bloke at all. All I know is he's a charcoal burner. So if I was you, I'd look somewhere around the charcoal kilns.
That's all I need to know. Are you Sternad? The one that went with Zdenna?
Who the fuck are you?
Just an ordinary bloke who has some questions.
Well then, piss off. You won't get any answers here. All you're gonna get here is...
Why so rash? That kind of attitude will do you no favours. Let's make a deal. You tell me everything you know about Zdenna, and I'll make sure you're no worse for wear.
Ah. You're the lord what that whore robbed. Don't worry about it. She weren't nothing but a lying bitch.
So, if I understand correctly, we can make a deal?
For the right price, I'll tell you all I know.
Is this the right...
You fucking bet it is.
Where can I find Zdenna?
Aye. That's what I like to fucking know too.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to find her.
I can well imagine. Well, she went to Ravstein. She had some unfinished business with some bloke called...
What can you tell me about...
What do you want to hear? I try to keep her out of trouble, but there's...
So you were taking care of...
Well, just in front of the others. Other than that, she did what she wanted.
So you weren't too fond of her?
Not really, no. But she did have a knack for making coin.
Did she have any friends or lovers who'd know more? Did anybody come here to see her?
Who come to see that bitch? She was always off somewhere, seeing someone. Although, once...
Someone came to see her?
Well, aye. Some stuffed frog came here once. He said he had some job for her. That she should leave behind her sinful life. But he left empty-handed.
Do you know who that priest was?
Some fucking Prokop or Pravoslav. But that reminds me. I saw her a couple of times with another bastard.
And could she have run away with this bard, William?
Well, he ain't been seen in town for some... He still don't come here no more. He plucks that loot of his in the miners' tavern. The wee shit.
What do you know about this priest?
Not much. Seems they knew each other from before. And he had some job for her somewhere. Serving as a maid or something. But she weren't stupid. She told...
And did he go?
Aye, indeed. He didn't look like the kind of fella... I think he just told her if she changed her mind to come and see...
And could she have changed her mind and gone to him? And that's why nobody's seen her?
No, no. She took off.
I've heard enough.
Be careful.
My God, love.
I'm bringing you some food. I'll try to get you something.
Oh, well... would be with you, sir.
Careful!
Walking around by yourself. Awful things happen here.
Good at all. See, I didn't say I wouldn't contribute, but I'm not giving them a single grosh until I see cut stones, lime, scaffolding, and 20 men working their asses off.
Be careful.
It's William, right?
What is it? Do we know each other?
My name's Henry. And no, we don't know each other, and you don't owe me money. We have a lot of mutual...
What? What do you want of me? I don't have to talk to you.
You don't need to. I can go and chat with the guards instead. Tell them you're the one hurting those girls.
What? I don't have anything to do with any girls.
Seriously? Everybody knows about you.
That's not possible. I just came to town.
What?
Look, if you think you're going to pin something on me, you're out of luck.
Bring mir Wein, bitte.
What happened?
I fell out of that bloody tree.
What?
I thought I saw something like gold, but instead of finding treasure...
I'm no physician.
But I won't get... You have anything to dress it?
Hold on. Here. You're lucky I'll carry... Here, let me dress it.
Thank you. You're the first good thing to happen to me. You know, I was born under an unlucky star.
Stop feeling so sorry for yourself.
But I'm cursed with it, even as a boy. And once I spent the whole... My parents spent everything they had.
See? That sounds like a...
Well, it see, we couldn't...
But you
think... I always... So he told...
And...
That
That's not people...
I'm not... Since I... But as we took flight...
Still, it could...
All right, I like...
Yes.
Hang on. I found the moment...
Right.
So I had one leg bit by a mongrel. Only that wolf bite gets some dirt in it. I couldn't walk for a...
All right.
My wife took care of me. And just as I was getting better, she cooked some food. She never came...
What happened to her?
I have no idea. The thing is, she took all her stuff. And since, as soon as I went, he said 3 sheep from that flock had never... But what with my darling wife pocketing all my coin?
Well, your life hasn't been all that easy.
I'm always...
If you were, you'd have fallen down and nobody would have found you. But I happened by. Today was your lucky day.
You have a point there. Thanks, friend.
Easy. Good horse.
Ka! Ka! Quick! Quick! God!
Whoa! Whoa!
Quick! God! God!
Just a bit further.
Quick! God!
Whoa! Whoa! I need to ask you something.
I don't have time for that. Ask the foreman.
I'm looking for someone named...
You're in a charcoal camp, fella. What would a woman be doing?
But you know, Stanya.
Aye. You could...
I'm looking for the killer of a girl in town. And I heard...
That's true. She told me something like that.
So you don't know what became...
I really don't know, mate. But even if I did know, how can I be sure...
Lumir himself, the Kuttenberg bailiff's former scribe, gave me the task.
Well, I remember Lumir. He was...
But what? What are you still brooding over?
You seem like... Sorry, but after all that happened to Stan...
So Stanya is...
Aye. She's hiding with us. Since that thing happened, she's afraid to even go outside. I don't know what to do with her anymore.
Can I speak to her?
If it'll help you. She's hiding in that cottage. But be nice to her. She's in a bad way. She used to be such a gutsy girl. See you later.
Who are you? How did you find me? If you came here, I'm not afraid of you.
Don't be afraid.
Barton sent you to me.
Lumir thought you were dead. I was supposed to find out what...
Lumir?
Exactly. Someone killed a girl in Kuttenberg, so maybe you could help us find...
How can I help you when I haven't been in Kuttenberg since... I don't even know when.
You disappeared from the...
Someone attacked me when I was coming home from the bath. I managed to get away, but I was so afraid.
Did you see who it...
Not at all. I didn't see anything until he jumped out of the shadows and grabbed me around the neck. And he was terribly strong. I nearly blacked out right away.
And how did you manage to break free?
I had an empty pitcher in my hand, and I hit him with it. He howled and let me go, and...
Here?
No. First to my room in the hole. But I was so scared there. I took what I could and ran.
And your lover?
At first he was horrified, because I had cut myself on a shard from the pitcher, and he's been hiding me here.
What was it like?
Well, I earned a few groschen.
How so?
Every single day I had to put up with their lewd remarks. Rich or poor, everyone wants to grope a girl. People, well, us girls have to watch out. We can't just put up with it. And sometimes, especially in a place like the Hole. But you can't overdo it either.
How so?
Because if you smile at them nicely, then sometimes they leave a groschen. Or even two. You have to keep a balance. To look friendly, but unavailable.
You said that rich or poor, they all like to grope girls. Like who?
Truth be told, the Hole isn't exactly a good place for a rich man. But young von Groll used to go there for a while.
Is that so? Did he talk to you?
He smiled at me a lot, so I smiled back. But beyond a few groschen, then this thieving wench started hanging around him, but that servant of his didn't like it, tried to drive her away, and so the young lord stopped bringing him with.
Von Grolla had a servant with him?
Aye, a pudgy fella, well-dressed. He never said a word or smiled.
You walked home from the baths at night?
What's so odd about that?
Well, at night, the baths are...
Ah, right. I went there after closing. I always brought the girls a pitcher of wine or ale and took a bath while they drank it.
Aha. So that's...
Right. I went there
the same way every time?
Aye, always the same way. The shortest one. I didn't...
And who knew that you went by yourself to the...
Well, everyone from the tavern.
Why didn't you go back to the...
Just to get murdered there? Are you mad? I'm never go...
How are you now?
I'm still... And I can't even really...
Do you remember anything important about the attack?
I don't know anything. It was at night. He grabbed me from behind, and then I ran.
And what about when you hit him?
He let me go, and cursed.
Aha. And what did he say?
He said Scheisse, in German.
Seems you're the only one to survive the killer's attack. I know it isn't easy for you to think about it, but try to remember something else about that moment, or when you were running away. Anything can help us, even if it seems insignificant.
I don't know. It's all like in a fog.
You were walking down the street, Did you notice anything before he attacked you?
No, nothing.
You didn't see anything or hear anything?
Actually, I knew the side street wasn't empty. I heard somebody talking, but when I looked, there was nobody there. So when somebody grabbed me, I completely froze.
Did you understand what they were talking about?
Not at all. But there were two voices. Two of them waiting for me there.
It's difficult, I understand. Aside from those voices and the empty street, what?
I didn't hear him at all. And then he grabbed me.
And nothing else? Did he grab your hair?
Well, no. He grabbed me by the throat right away and squeezed. Just for a moment. But I still had a big bruise round my neck for weeks. Barton said the man must have had a terribly strong grip. Like a miner or swordsman.
I heard William liked pretending to be a spy.
Aye, I thought it pretty silly. A stupid trick to make himself seem more... Though I reckon he's more likely to attract an arse-kicking...
Couldn't it have been that innkeeper then?
Aye, when he drinks, he turns into a total bastard. All lewd remark. Only when I got to my room, I could hear him snoring.
Couldn't it have been Father...
Father Prokop?
No, he's pretty old. He preaches in the Church of...
I don't know him. And if he's an old man...
I reckon...
I'm sorry I'm not able to...
You don't need to apologise.
Thank you.
If it's in my power.
When you catch that bastard, would you please let me know?
I'll stop by if I can.
God be with you.
Go! Quick! Go! Ah! Quick! Go! Ah! Quick! Ah! 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 Quick!
A blessed evening to you.
Are you Pint?
I am.
I'm looking for his Denner.
I don't know any Stenner.
Sternad said something.
You're a friend of Sternard's. You're right there. Zdenna was always cursing him.
So you knew Denner?
I know Zdenna all right, but she ain't. Why are you looking for her?
I'm looking for a... Back in the city, they think she's either dead or run off somewhere.
Kurva.
What can you tell me about Zdenna?
She always had it hard. She lost her parents and her home as a child.
And what about Sternad? How does he fit?
Sternard was her guardian angel. If she hadn't been thieving with him, she probably would have ended up a whore.
Uh-huh. I'm surprised she stuck with him as long as she did.
That's because she had a hideout somewhere nearby. That's why she'd come to me with her loot, before they taxed. And the last time she was here, she said one more haul like this, and she'll be able to go wherever.
I heard she wanted to sell you some valuables.
Oh, aye. She had a good haul. No rubbish. Mostly jewelry, rings, one signet. She left it all here. I paid her a pretty sum of coin. It was a good thing she had a basket with her. Otherwise...
And what about that signet ring? Do you still have it?
She didn't sell me the ring. She wanted to keep it. Said it'd bring her luck someday.
Do you know what kind of luck she meant? Did you recognize the signet on the ring?
No. I didn't recognize that signet. But all the while, Zdenna was giggling to herself.
Where did she go next from here?
That she did. She also had a feeling...
Someone followed her on a horse from Kuttenberg.
She didn't. At first, she thought it was some wealthy lord out for a ride. But he held back. Never passed by.
And did you see him? Did he come all the way here?
No. But Zdenna thought he would show. She even left her scarf here and paid some girl to walk around with it to make it look like she was still here.
And then where'd she go?
She wanted to go the back way, through the woods, so nobody could follow her. Past the woods is a road and a ford.
Well, if it leads back...
Fuck! I made a point of looking, but I didn't see any riders there.
And could it have been Father Proc...
What do I know? If he has a horse and fancy clothes...
I heard he wanted to find her an honest job.
I don't know.
And could it have been...
And who would that be?
He's this bard she was...
I don't know about that. I don't remember her mentioning nobody by that.
Well, I'll go and check out that ford.
I hope you don't. Take care, sir.
Go! Ja! 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 Go! Whoa, that has to be that ford Pike was talking about. I should take a look around here. This must be that basket of silver Zdenna was carrying with her. She wouldn't have just left that here. But where did it come from? Maybe it rolled down the hill? Poor thing. She didn't get very far. Ugh, she's been lying here a long time. At first glance, this body isn't as mutilated as the others. Unfortunately, I can't tell if somebody strangled her like the others. She's been lying here too long for that, but her head is smashed in. Either the murderer hit her with a rock, or dashed her hard against the ground. She must have put up a fight. Or maybe he lost his patience. Oh, she's all stuck to her clothes. They're torn up, but I don't see any cuts. The rips are odd. Like someone was looking for something. Oh, I can't make much out by now, but it seems as if the fingers on her right hand are broken. Did the murderer torture her? Or was he trying to get something out of her hand? Oh, my God. Oh, something fell out of her. A signet ring. Oh, that must be the one she stole. How did it get inside her? Did she swallow it herself? Or did the murderer shove it in there? Was she trying to hide it? Or was it punishment for stealing? Well, that's enough. But what does it all mean? I'd say she put up a decent fight, and the killer had to improvise, and that's about all I can find out. She's probably been lying here a few weeks, but that...
quick.